Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to today's video. Today guys, I'm going to be showing you how to create a simple password generator in shell scripting or in Bash. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Here I have VS Code, save the file, and let's go ahead and start with our classical and simple shebang. Why? So let this file know that we're going to execute this using Bash in the Bash terminal. That's first step. Second step, we'll go ahead and prompt the user to enter for me using the read command to get input using three custom flags rep in order to have a variable in the end so I can, you know, make it a simple line of code instead of writing a bunch of lines. So we'll go ahead and I will write the dollar sign, one single quote, if you remember from my other video. I'll go ahead and tell the user to enter the length of the password. And then in the end of the line, we'll go ahead and write the name of the variable which the data will be saved into. Now that we've done that, oh yeah, let's make it a bit fancy, huh? Okay, let's just save it real quick. Let's just test it. Pass. Shell. Alright, perfect, works. Now we're gonna get into where actually the code starts to happen. We're gonna use a library called OpenSSL, and we're gonna achieve the generation of the passwords by using a for loop. Now, for loops in Bash are very, very simple. Let me show you how they work. First of all, you're gonna use the for, and you're gonna say n, which is the iterator, in. I'll tell you all about the iterator, very important. Oh yeah, dollar sign. Open two brackets. You can use a sequence, and we'll see sequence one, for example. That's the number of passwords, which is the number of the iterator, and I'll explain more. Or you can just use a list, like for example, you could have a list, and that list is equal to some stuff, and then you use a semicolon, go a new line, you're gonna use the do, and under this do, you will have a block of code. You will execute the code, and then in order to close off the for loop, to exit it, you're gonna write in done. Okay, and that should be how it works. Now I'll tell you how the code works. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Let's remove this so I don't get any errors. All right. Now we're going to use something called a sequence, and this sequence will basically tell the for loop how many times to run. So sequence 1 means that will only generate one password, and in this case the iterator is equal to 1 because the iterator is a thing that tells the code how many times this for loop is going to be ran until it's over. So if for example the sequence was 2, well then n will be equal to 2, and the code in the for loop will run 2 times. Get it? But let's just run 1 for now, and we'll customize it later. So let's go ahead inside our blockchain, and we'll execute the code. We will use OpenSSL. If you're using a Unix terminal, anything, this will be available. OpenSSL, we'll go ahead and use rand to generate random bits of data, and here you're going to want to specify the type of encoding. I'm going to use the base64 encoding, which is a really, really nice one. It has 64 characters, and it's a really, really powerful one. Now, what we're going to do next is specify the number of bytes or the byte sequence. If you don't know what a byte sequence is, it's basically just a list of bytes that will be encoded into base 64, and then the base 64 will output it to us as characters. Let's explain this a bit more. What is a byte exactly? A byte is made up of 8 bits. Now, a bit can be either 0 or a 1. So in this case, a byte always being made up of 8 bits has a different type of order. For example, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There, that's a byte. And then if you had another byte, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is also another byte, but they are different in data. This byte sequence could represent a file that is, For example, a picture, another one could represent another picture, but that has an alternation. So you get the point. This is a byte sequence, and I can specify the number of them. And the number of them will then get encoded into base64, outputting the characters. Now, I will specify 48. And in order to have a strong base64 length character password, you're going to want to start somewhere around 32 and build your way up. So 32, 48, one. If you want to go really, really high, that means you're going for like maximum security, like 32, 48. After that, let's say 64, 256. All of these generate highly, highly unpenetrable. Well, let's not use unpenetrable, but really, 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 really good passwords because the strength of the password will depend on the byte sequence, and that byte sequence will actually turn the bytes into the characters, and I'll tell you how this works actually in a second. So, anyways, let's go on. We will use a pipe here because we are going to use another command in Bash, and this would be the cut command. Now, why are we using this? Because we want the number of characters outputted of the password to be equal to the length that we've specified here. So we're going to use the cut. We're going to use hyphen C1, character 1, C, character 1, all the way to character length, which is in this case the number that is stored in this variable that the user will input. Now, this is pretty straightforward, so let's go ahead and save this and let's test it. Let's see if we have any errors. Let's say, for example, 5. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's go for something harder. Let's go like 24, maybe. There you go. That's a pretty beautiful password, I gotta say. Now, you might be asking yourself a question, hey, this is pretty cool and all. I want to generate multiple passwords. Well, let's get back to the code. Like I said, the iterator will run depending on the number of sequences. So the iterator will generate one password, will run the code once if there's one sequence. Now, let's say you want 10 sequences. Well, let's test this. Let's say, yeah, 10 characters. There you go. You've got 10 passwords. Hey, but I don't want it to look like that. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and use the echo command, and we'll use -n to do this for each new line. We'll go ahead and say password number something. So let's say password $n, and then take this, take a space, and close this. Now let's go ahead and run it, test it. Let's say 10. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. We messed up here somewhere. Hold on. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry, goofy me. I didn't realize that this was actually just echoing all of this. In something I forgot to do is to use this tag. My bad, guys. What this tag does actually is that you execute multiple commands in the same line. So sorry for that. So there you go. You learned something new. In this double and tag executes multiple lines in one line of code. So now let's save this, and what this should do is that it should print out, echo out password number, and then it will execute this command. So this will be written right next to it. So let's go ahead and save this, and now let's print this. Let's execute it. Sorry, 10 characters. Okay, hold on. We ran into another. What the? Okay, that is. Dude, I did not do that. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now it's right. I don't know why that happened, I'll be honest with you guys. But anyways, as you can see, it generated all the passwords. Now, there is something that I'd like to teach you before I close off here with the byte sequence, something that I personally learned, and it's really, really fun. A way you can apply math here is that, let's say, for example, you are designing a web page, for for your job, and people register accounts, and you want to make like the maximum. You want to have like a small database, so you're writing your server, you're using SQL database. You want database not to have a lot of character password. So you're getting the people on the website say, hey, the maximum character length for the password is only, let's say, 12, all right, or N or LL, okay? So that L, I will make a mathematical equation here. I won't put it into the code. I'm just showing you how to do it. So let's say L, okay, L, that's going to be the maximum length, okay? And N, that would be the number of byte sequences. Now, the way that you do this is that actually every byte sequence will get translated, not will be sorry, not translated. Every byte in base64 will be encoded, and that will give back nearly 1.33 base64 characters. So that means that every 3 bytes multiplied by 1.33, that'll give you approximately 4 base64 character lengths. So we came up with a formula to help you solve for the maximum character password. So that would be, let's say L, remember, that's the base64 length characters, and N, that's the number of byte sequences. So here's what you do. You say N over 3 multiplied by 4, that will be equal to L, all right? So N, the number of byte sequences that you specify in your code, multi divided by 3, multiplied by 4, that will be equal to L. And remember, the L is what we're trying to solve for. That is the maximum character password length. And remember, we divide here by 3, all right? And if like obviously like let's say you divide 16, okay? Let's say you divide 16 and 16 over 3 will that's going to be equal to 5.333. Well, you're going to round that up to 6, and then 6 multiplied by 4, that'll be equal to 24. Now, you can do this another way around. Let's say you want to make the maximum like 12, like I said. If you solve it, you're going to get around it's going to be like 3 multiplied by 4. So n over 3 is going to be equal roughly to 3. So that'll be nearly like 8. Because 8 over 3, that'll be equal to 2.6. And round that up, that'll equal to 3. So there you go. You're going to specify 8 byte sequences in order to have a maximum password character length of 12. And then we can actually test this. But just so you know, this will make it actually less powerful. Okay, I'm just putting a demonstration. Obviously, 48 is way more powerful because more byte sequences, more entropy, more randomness in the password. So you get the point. So let's specify 8. And now let's try entering 12 and then entering more than 12. And let's see if we get a difference. Okay, so let's just compare the first password. Let's count them. Now let's go ahead and write 13. Let's see if we actually get 13. So here we have 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here, how about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you look at that. It still generated 12, although we wanted 13. So the formula works, and you get the point. So use this, and it's really, really nice. And that should be it for today's video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed. I myself did. You can mess around a lot in Bash. This does not mean that I have stopped making videos about Python. I actually am gonna making more videos about Python. I will have a large Python video where I will do a bunch of projects, and one of those projects will actually be a password generator. So thank you guys for your time. I hope you enjoyed and have a good day. Peace.